Almost everyone has had an occasional tension headache, but did you know that millions of Americans have frequent, debilitating headaches? Headaches that literally wreck their lives and limit their ability to do the things they love to do? Headaches can strike at any time. They seem unpredictable, and millions have to change their plans every day due to headaches. Headaches are the third leading cause of years lost due to disability worldwide. Americans spend $17 billion a year on drugs to treat headaches. Yet one of the most frequently missed causes of headaches is called medication overuse headache. So the very thing used to treat headaches may be causing them. Don't get me wrong, medications have certainly helped people with headaches, but what if natural methods could actually play a huge part in preventing headaches? Wouldn't you want to check that out? If you or a loved one has issues with recurrent headaches, please stay tuned. I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen. Join co-host Stacy Hansen and myself for the next half hour on Maximize Living as we discuss and uncover the major types and causes of headaches. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. So Dr. Pat, we're talking about headaches today. How big of a problem is this really in the U.S.?
It's a huge problem. There's 70 million Americans that get headaches.
Wow.
And it's a $70 billion a year industry, I should say. Medical charges, $17 billion are spent on drugs alone. It's an incredibly large, 155 million workdays are lost.
Wow.
And there's 30 million migraine sufferers alone.
Oh,
and
wow.
half of those have migraines so bad that it's wrecking their life.
So this is really serious and unfortunately very common. So what are some of the different types? You talked about migraines.
Yeah. Well, there's about 150 different categories of headaches.
Really?
Yeah. But there's 13 major ones.
Okay.
So we talk about the migraines. We also have tension headaches and also cluster headaches. Maybe people have heard of those. Mm-hmm. But there's one you haven't heard a lot about, and it's fairly common, is a medication overuse headache. It's actually from taking drugs for 3-4 days, and then you get a rebound headache from those medications.
Wow, so some of that medication dollars you were talking about, it may be kind of a vicious cycle there.
Exactly. And there's some other kind of headaches. We call them mixed if they're partially migraine, partially tension headache. There's sinus headaches, although most of those are really misdiagnosed migraines.
Really?
Yeah, in the studies. 90% of people in a whiplash car accident injury will get headaches. And there's hormonal headaches, change in estrogen at the period time. Visual disturbances are common with this. Hangovers, toxicities, head traumas. Dental headaches from a dental problem.
Oh, wow.
Caffeine withdrawal, many people are aware of that.
Yeah, you hear about that a lot.
And weekend headaches from sleeping too long.
Really?
Yes.
Too much of a good thing, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Well, speaking of a good thing, there's headaches actually from an orgasm for some people. A small percentage of people actually get a headache by orgasm, from orgasm. But actually many people with headaches, most people with headaches, if they are sexually active, will actually help their headache. So just pay attention to that one. Hopefully it'll be useful for you at times.
No more headache excuses anymore for you out there. So let's talk about migraines. To me, that seems like one of the more common ones. You're always hearing about people saying that they have a migraine or that they think they might. What actually causes them, and what are they all about?
Well, the migraine is characterized by a sharp pulsing pain. Fairly sudden onset, starts in the morning. It's throbbing. It's moderate to severe pain. There's often nausea or vomiting, and sensitivity to light and sound, so people want to just go into a dark room. And 1/3 actually have prodromal symptoms, which means visual disturbances. They'll see a tunnel vision or wavy lights outside of that tunnel vision. And women get them 3 times more than men.
And they're very scary symptoms too.
They're debilitating.
Yeah. And now tension headaches too, I think that's probably seems like one of the more common ones too, you hear a lot about.
Tension or cervicogenic headaches. It's more of a constant headache, and it's typically a tight band around the head or in the temples. And Syracuse University did a study, and they said 80% of headaches are related to the cervical spine. So often with the tension headache, you're having bad posture, neck misalignment, and it creates tension headache.
And cluster headaches too, I wasn't quite sure about that one.
Cluster headache is also called a suicide headache. It's a headache that males get 9 times more than women, but it feels like you have an ice pick in your eye. It's that severe. And they actually call it a suicide headache. And it comes in clusters. You know, it can be up to 3 or 4 a day, and it can happen for several weeks to several months that you're getting these clusters of these sharp shooting pains. Often the nose will run and the eye will run, and they're absolutely debilitating. But thank God they're only 20 to 30 minutes long generally.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, stay with us. We'll have more coming up on headaches right after this. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. Dr. Pat's talking to us today about headaches. You had mentioned migraines in the last segment. It sounds like people are really suffering from these. What are some of the triggers that might be causing these?
Yeah, there are triggers that people get exposed to certain things or chemicals that can trigger that migraine to happen. It isn't the cause necessarily of the headaches, it causes internally affecting them, but things like chocolate, or caffeine, or red wine.
Oh, bummer. Those are all good things.
Chemical additives, that's not a good thing.
No.
Preservatives, nitrates, MSG, aspartame can trigger people. Skipping meals can be a trigger for people getting migraines. So keep in mind that women have 3 times as many migraines as men do. And lack of sleep or even too much sleep can trigger migraine. In fact, birth control pills can help a person if they have migraines. Sometimes they go on birth control pills and they feel better, but also going off of birth control pills, or they can make them worse.
Oh, wow.
Going on birth control pills. So, but there are 25 studies published that saying that chiropractic care helps people with migraines.
So that's good to know that you can help people with some of these things because they're really debilitating.
They really are.
And you also mentioned medication overuse headaches, and I think that's a new one to a lot of people. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, exactly. It's called a rebound headache, and or a MO headache, MOH. And it happens when you have NSAIDs or aspirins, ibuprofen, Tylenol, things like that, for as little as 3 days, and then stop. That can actually cause a rebound headache. So you could literally be taking ibuprofen or aspirin or Tylenol for a swollen ankle, and after 3 days of taking it, you could get headaches from it.
So it really doesn't take that long, 3 days?
No. And the Journal of Neurology did an interesting study where they said if you take chronic analgesic medication, 6 months of analgesic medication, you can have a 20-time increase in migraines.
Wow.
And 3.5-time increase in neck and low back pain. So those are rebound pain syndromes.
And then people are probably in turn trying to take more medication, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yes, and they're one of the most misdiagnosed headaches. In fact, interesting, so people take so many of these NSAIDs, over-the-counter prescription pills, that there's 16,000 people a year who die from taking those over-the-counter medication in the United States.
Wow, just taking too much of it? Is that what's...
Well, or they react to it, it's sensitive, it causes bleeding. So 16,000 people a year.
Well, who knew? I had never heard that before. So some of these other headaches too, what are some major causes just in general of headaches?
Well, a major cause that is often overlooked is your posture and your spinal alignment. If you shift the spine out of alignment, it's going to create tension in the base of the skull, and that's going to refer pain into the head. It's going to upset the base of the brain circulation, which can trigger migraines. It can refer pain in headaches. So almost every category of headache will be helped with adjustments. I've even had people with hangovers come in, and they're reacting to the toxin, and when we adjust them, they do 50% better. So
really?
They just feel better because it's triggered more tension in their body.
Well, who knew? So
not that we're advocating that.
drink crazy drinks, you can also get a chiropractic adjustment for a hangover. So what are some action steps that people can do right now? Getting a chiropractic adjustment obviously is one.
Well, one of the things is don't sit too long. Our bodies are meant for about 3 hours of sitting, and a lot of people, if they get up and rush to work and just sit all day, that sitting will be so stagnant to their nervous system, their cerebrospinal fluid, their blood flow, that can trigger headaches. And another one is maintaining regular sleep patterns. So best to go to bed at a certain time and get up at a certain time. That regular pattern really helps. So that sleeping in on the weekend doesn't really help. Many times people get headaches from that extra 2 hours worth of sleep. So a little bit extra, sure. And then stomach sleeping is a tough one on the neck. There's really no way to breathe well without turning your head. And imagine walking around all day with your head turned to the side. It would create neck tension.
Nothing good's going to come of that.
Which could trigger headaches.
Well, stay with us. We'll have more on how to prevent headaches right after this. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. Dr. Pat is sharing with us some tips today on helping our headaches. What are some more of these headache action steps that we can do to try to prevent these?
Absolutely. If you have cardiovascular exercise as part of your lifestyle, it reduces headaches. Anything to get your heart rate pumping and your body moving is going to get blood circulating. It's going to help balance your hormones. It's going to reduce muscular tension. So cardio, and there could be many different kinds of cardio. It could be a run or a walk or stair climbing or elliptical trainer, swimming. So lots of good kinds of cardio.
Seems like whatever you like doing and you think you can keep doing is probably what you should choose.
And cardio 3 times a week is good. With many people from a chiropractic perspective, I recommend that they don't do the same thing every day. So if you're going to run one day, maybe bike the next. Mm-hmm. And that alternating is much better long term.
Okay.
And then another thing would be do trigger point work, which is deep pressure on tender areas in the skull or neck. So massage is helpful for that.
Oh, that's a good excuse to go get a massage, folks.
Deep trigger point work is quite helpful. And then avoid trigger foods. We talked about the
chocolate.
Chocolate's actually really healthy for you.
Oh, is it? Good.
Yeah.
Good.
If you get like 70% or higher, it's really high in antioxidants. But you may be one of those that are sensitive to it. And you'll know if you get migraines from eating chocolate, you best not. But if you take care of yourself and do a lot of other action steps, it's very possible that you can desensitize and not have problems from things that you just love.
How's that for an incentive?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what about stress management?
Stress is huge with headaches. There's an increased cortisol level when we have tension in our body, and that breaks our bodies down, raises our blood pressure, shuts down our digestion, stores body fat. It's really hard on our body, and the stress will create muscular tension, creating more headaches. It's just completely unhealthy to have that level of tension in the body all the time.
Yeah, it's just funny how much stress can really affect your body and how many good things exercise does for you. It's just good advice all around.
You really can't, there's just no way to skip exercise.
Yeah.
Your body is programmed to require, your genes are programmed to require exercise to be healthy.
So what about bad posture? That's got to cause some of the back of the neck type
headaches.
headaches.
This poster here kind of depicts a picture of someone with forward head posture where the ear is quite a bit ahead of the center of the shoulder. And for every inch forward, it's like wearing a 10-pound hat all day long.
Ouch.
And it gets real heavy on the neck and the shoulders and the back. And so it jams the discs and the nerves and stimulates more arthritis. So we want to stop forward head posture. And one of the first things that happens when our necks go out of alignment is we lose communication from those neck joints to the brain. The brain doesn't really know where the head is as well, and the posture drifts forward.
Ooh.
So it's a real culprit with headaches, and that puts tension on the brain stem, triggering headaches.
So what can we do to kind of help that or stop that if someone's kind of already got that sort of
Right. Well, one of the things is an exercise that we do called neck extension.
Okay.
And if I could show you that one.
Yeah, all right. How do we do this?
Put your hands right on the crown of your head, fairly high, elbows close together, and then stretch gently. It's more of a stretch. You're not pulling hard. Stretch the chin and the elbows all the way to the ceiling. And you hold that for a count of 5 to 10 seconds. and you do 5 to 10 reps.
Yeah, it does.
Start with 5 reps, 5 seconds. And you do that several times a day. If you're sitting at work and you're starting to feel tension build up, that neck extension exercise is really good. The caution there is don't pull hard. It's really a stretch. You don't need to pull. So that'll extend the rib cage, pull the head back, put a curve in your neck, reduce muscular tension. So it's a really powerful exercise.
What about some of these you hear about kind of pulling your neck, your head and neck back? Is that a good one to do? Or?
Well, you know, that is recommended by some, but I don't like it because when you do a chin tuck, you're actually reversing the curve. You're flattening the curve in your neck. So we want the head to come back, but we want it to come back with a curve naturally, not a chin tuck. And I've seen so many people strain their neck doing chin tucks.
Okay, so don't do, and you do feel the difference. This one feels nice, this one does not.
Right.
Well, stay tuned. We have more on headaches right after this. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. So Dr. Pat, we're talking about headaches today. What are some things that we can show the folks that they can do at home to prevent headaches?
Absolutely. We've got a number of fun little toys here that we can use.
I see that.
Part of our home care kit that we use at our office. One of these is called a back hugger. And you might wonder, why would a back support be important for the neck? But most people, when they sit, they round their lower back too much. Go ahead and round. And then the head goes forward. It's almost impossible not to have your head go forward if you're rounding your lower back. So when you sit, the use of a cushion supporting the curve in the back will support the arch here, the whole shoulder, girdle, and head will then come back more, which influences headaches a lot. Forward head posture for long sitting causes headaches very often.
And it's comfortable too. It's not a lot of work to try to have good posture when you've got this.
Yeah, it's a great boost. The next thing we have is quite a unique looking device, and it's called a wall traction unit. And this goes behind the base of your head.
I don't know if I like where this is going.
And this one goes under your chin.
Okay.
I'll get that centered. And so this top part would actually go over a door.
Uh-oh,
and go ahead
I really
and stand
don't like
up
where
for
this is
one.
going.
And then what you do is dip your knees and put about 20 pounds of pressure, and then come right back up. Right like that. Go ahead and do it again.
Surprisingly, it's freeing. You can feel the nice stretch.
Good. And so we'll have patients take these units home and use them over a door. And what it does is open up the discs in the lower neck. It's especially good if you have disc degeneration, which is really common. And it's helpful for forward head posture, neck tension, and loss of curve in the neck. So it's really a home run when you use that. The next device is even more fun. This is a appropriately monikered Maximize Living head weight.
Of course.
And this goes on your head like this. Go ahead and tuck that down a little bit.
Okay.
And it sits low on the eyebrow.
Oh, there's a weight in front there.
And there's a weight in the front. So what happens here is the weight in front initially will pull her head forward, but her body's innate reaction to find center of gravity is to pull her head back. And walking around with this for a few minutes a day will actually help retrain her posture. The adjustments are critically important to allow that to happen, but then using the head weighting is a wonderful follow-through to reduce that forward head posture. And I think it looks great too. I think everyone should walk around the neighborhood with that on.
This is the new trend right here. It's counterintuitive because you would think that would pull your head forward, but your body's just knowing, okay, I got to pull back.
And what's really unique too is that if someone has an angle in their neck or a shift to the side, we can actually hang a weight on the side and it'll help balance sideways curvatures as well. There's a whole science of body weighting to help with that. A person with a low shoulder can put a weight on the shoulder and it'll retrain. It's one of the additional ways that we can correct spines, besides the adjustments, is using things like body weighting and wall traction. So we'll take that off.
Ooh, that's a weight off my head.
Yeah, very good. And lastly, spinal molding. This is something that we do at night, or if you're tired at midday, get out from under gravity for a few minutes. Naps are a great thing. But mold those normal curves in the spine.
Okay.
So if you would lie on your back, the small one actually goes under the lower back. Right there, under the small of the back. And the larger one goes under the neck.
This may be my favorite one of the day.
And you can just stay right there.
Ah.
And so that's supporting the normal cervical curve. And it generally feels quite well, and it's supporting the lumbar curve. And
Very nice.
we stay like that for up to 20 minutes or so.
Now, if you're first using these, you might not be comfortable doing it for 20 minutes, especially if you've got a reversed curve in your neck. So we'll use this for a shorter period of time. Best to set an alarm so you don't fall asleep on it all night and wake up stiff because you did too much correction at one time.
Yeah, it'd be easy to do. It's quite comfortable. Well, those are some great tips. Well, thanks so much. Hopefully
Pleasure.
that will help you reduce your headaches at home. Stay tuned, we have more coming up.
Welcome back to Maximize Living. We certainly covered a lot about headaches today. We covered the major types of headaches, causes, and action steps that you can do naturally without drugs and surgery. We shared that there's a lot to be done for headaches with natural chiropractic care, spinal alignment, neck issues, posture, work positions, stress, diet, and exercise, to name a few. If headaches are all too often a part of your life, I recommend you call Madison Maximize Living at 608-833-1282 for a thorough evaluation. As a board-certified chiropractor, I've helped thousands of people with headaches over many years in practice. In fact, if you're having persistent headaches, you really haven't done everything possible to help them if you haven't checked with your chiropractor. Headaches are not normal. While no one can guarantee results, chiropractors have an impressive track record with headaches. Chiropractors help headaches. Call 608-833-1282 and let's see if we can put an end to your headache nightmares. For Maximize Living, I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen. Until next week, live well.